In this tutorial, we're going to create the window for Tony's garage. You'll get this template in your email along with the links to this tutorial, and all you need to do is open that up and follow along. Now I'm going to go to my layer window, and I'm going to introduce a new layer. And now we're going to make a selection of all the window shapes. Those pale gray boxes have to be selections. So there's a number of ways to do this. I'm going to hit M on the keyboard, and I'm going to click and drag the perimeter of one of them. Now I'm going to pick a blue to put inside this window pane on the blank layer. Now, if you want to follow with the exact same color, in your color picker, you're going to punch in these letters and numbers. A, B, D, D, F1. And now I'm going to fill that with that blue. I'll hit Option Delete. I'm leaving it selected because now I can hit V on the keyboard. And if I were to hold down the Option and the Shift, I can drag the other window panes across and then down. Now I've got the 4 top panels done. I'm going to deselect and I'm going to save. Then I'm going to hold down the Command key and I'm going to click on the thumbnail with those 4 blue boxes to make one selection of them. Once again, I'll hold the Option key, hold the Shift key, and drag the next series down. Command D to deselect, Command S to save. We're going to start to add some shadows to this first, and then we'll put reference on with white as if it were a window pane. I'm going to go to the layer, I'll double click, I'll first put in outer glow. I'll set the outer glow to normal, black, 50% opacity. I'll make the spread 0 and the size 5. I'm now going to put the inner glow on. And for the inner glow, I'll leave it at 50%. I'll take the choke completely off and I'll make the size 10. Now we're going to make the window frame itself. I'm going to click on the background layer, add a new layer. I'm going to choose a gray. I'll go to my swatches and I guess I'll pick a 15% gray and I'll Option Delete to fill that. Now, I want to punch holes in the gray layer that are equal to the blue boxes so that the window pane, when we put the bevel on, pushes the frame of the window out so it looks a little bit more realistic. So with the gray layer selected, I will hold down the Command key again, and I'm going to click on the thumbnail for the blue window panes, and then I'm going to hit Delete. I'm going to hit Command D to deselect. Now I'm going to get my Marquee tool, and I'm going to drag a selection that will give me the outside edge of the window frame. Now it's difficult to see because of the gray layer, so I'll drop the gray layer's transparency to about 70%. And then on the layer with the gray, I'll make a selection of the lines that define the outside edge of the window frame. I'm going to go to Select Inverse, and I'm going to choose Delete. I'll deselect. I'll return the layer to full opacity. And now I'm going to put bevel and emboss on that layer. So I'll just name that window frame first, and then I'll double click on the gray of the layer, and I will add bevel and emboss. In bevel and emboss, I'm going to make the depth 75. Now, I also want this to pop when it gets into the actual wall that's going to go against. So I'm going to go back in and put the outer glow on this. And I'll leave the same settings I've been using all along. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to put reflections on here. And I wouldn't do that with actual change of opacity. We're going to put highlights. So I'm going to put a new layer in above the blue window pane layer. And I'm going to get my marquee, and I'm going to drag a box inside, not quite edge to edge, of one of the blue boxes. I'm going to get my default white, and I'm going to choose Option Delete to fill that. I'll deselect. Now I'm going to get the polygon lasso tool. With the polygon lasso tool, I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut a few pieces out of this so that when I'm done, it's going to look like light reflecting on the glass. Now that I've got the white where I want it on one panel, I'm going to put a layer mask on, and I'm going to get a soft edge brush, and I'm going to drop the opacity to about 50%. And now I'm going to go in and start to hide some of this. Something like this will be perfectly fine. Once I've defined one reflection the way I want, I'm going to apply the layer mask, get my marquee, make a broad selection, hit V on the keyboard, hold down the Option and the Shift, and then drag the copies I need to the other open panels. I'm going to deselect one, so I have 4. I'll get my marquee, make a selection across all 4. Once again, holding down Option and Shift and dragging with the Move tool, I'll put the other copies in the panels below and save. I'm going to make this into a PNG. I'm going to click off on the background panel, and I'm going to go to File, Save As, Tony's Garage, Window, Final, and the format will be PNG, and I'm going to make sure that there's no compression.